Today's news highlights. Date June 11, 2025. News highlights. Drinking water is not only about quenching thirst, but also about the temperature of the water that affects gastrointestinal function, metabolism, and health. The doctor suggests that warm water, about 35-40 degrees, is more in line with the needs of the human body, helps circulation and digestion, and is especially suitable for drinking in the early morning. Ice water may cause vasoconstriction and gastrointestinal discomfort, and should be avoided by women with migraine or menstruation. Excessively hot drinks, over 65 degrees, may increase the risk of esophageal cancer. Despite the influence of water temperature, the most important thing is to drink enough water regularly to maintain the normal functioning of the body. News highlights. The doctor pointed out that the family suffered from diabetes due to long-term consumption of fried rice and fried noodles with chili sauce and soy sauce, and 3 meals of high sugar, no protein, and no vegetables. A high carbohydrate diet can trigger insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome, which is the main cause of type 2 diabetes. In addition to diet, stress, lack of sleep and visceral fat accumulation are also key risks. If you want to improve, you can start from 3 aspects: adjust your diet, increase exercise, and manage stress and sleep to maintain blood sugar stability and prevent diabetes. News highlights. About 1/5 of Taiwan's population suffers from gastroesophageal reflux, with symptoms such as chest burning, foreign body sensation in the throat, and severe fear of esophageal inflammation, ulcers, and even cancer. Doctors point out that coffee, frying, fatty foods and eating dinner too late are common triggers. Drinking coffee after meals and eating with acidic foods is more likely to exacerbate discomfort. It is recommended to adopt a Mediterranean diet, avoid overeating, stop eating at least 4 hours before bedtime, adjust lifestyle habits, control abdominal pressure, and seek medical examination if necessary to avoid delaying treatment. News highlights. The Taipei District Prosecutor's Office charged Huang Turong, a former DPP party worker, with 4 others in connection with the CCP espionage case, and Huang was accused of leaking information such as Liking's confidential itinerary with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and transmitting it to the CCP through a backgammon app disguised as a game, and accepting more than 6 million in compensation. Huang was sentenced to 30 years in prison for violating the national security law and other crimes, and the other 3 were also sentenced to more than 5 to 9 years in prison. The Democratic Progressive Party, DPP, has removed all 5 people involved in the case and expelled them from the party. News highlights. On June 9, Gao Yuchen, former deputy director of the 610 Office of the Communist Party of China, was investigated on suspicion of serious violations of discipline and law. The 610 Office was set up by Jiang Zemin in 1999 to suppress Falun Gong, and is an illegal organization that once controlled the national public security and law systems and carried out systematic persecution. Gao Yuchen was the Vice Minister of the Ministry of National Security and has been involved in related operations for a long time. Although the office was abolished in 2018, local abuses persisted. The system has been accused of serious human rights crimes such as persecution and organ harvesting by a large number of Falun Gong practitioners. News highlights. Despite the recent violent riots in Los Angeles over opposition to federal immigration policies, there have been incidents of assaults on police, arson, car smashing and robbery in the past few days, despite peaceful protests on June 9. Police have arrested dozens of people and named those implicated in the assault on federal personnel as wanted. Law enforcement noted that some of the participants in the violence were organized out-of-town anarchists. Southern California lawyer Lou Longja said those involved in the case could face heavy prison sentences, including attempted homicide, arson, assault on police and other crimes, and could be sentenced to up to 9 years in prison. There are deep concerns about security. News highlights. TSMC's consolidated revenue in May reached RMB 320.5 billion, down 8.3% month-on-month, due to the appreciation of the new Taiwan dollar. The company's revenue in June is expected to drop by double digits every month, but it is still expected to reach the low standard of the quarterly financial forecast. Chairman Wei Zhijia pointed out that the 8% appreciation of the NTD has eroded the profit margin by more than 3 percentage points, which is under great pressure on operations, but stressed that the company's business is strong, and the annual revenue and surplus are expected to reach new highs, reiterating that he is optimistic about the growth outlook for the next 5 to 10 years. News highlights. According to Morgan Stanley's latest report, GB200 NVL72 server shipments are expected to reach 5,000 to 6,000 containers in the second quarter, a significant increase from the first quarter. Hon Hai estimates that more than half of the shipments are about 3,000 to 4,000 containers, and the shipments of Quanta and Wistron have also increased significantly. Gigabyte is the preferred stock, with a target price of 350 yuan, and it is expected that there is room for upward adjustment in the second quarter revenue, but the effect of urgent orders in June is limited. All of them have given outperform ratings to Gigabyte, Hon Hai, Quanta, Wistron, and are optimistic about the growth potential of Taiwanese manufacturers in the AI server market. News highlights. In May, the NTD rose by more than $2, and 14 listed financial holdings were hit hard by foreign exchange losses, with a total net loss after tax of RMB 6.844 billion in May, and net profit after tax in the first 5 months of the year decreased by 41% year-on-year to RMB 155.4 billion. Cathay Gold is the only sub-life insurance profit holding, and although Fubon Gold has a monthly loss, its cumulative EPS still ranks first. Shinkong Gold's net loss in May reached 14.8 billion yuan, and the cumulative loss in the first 5 months exceeded 31.2 billion yuan. Taishan Gold and Kai Fund also suffered from foreign exchange losses, and their profits declined. The overall financial holdings profit shrank sharply, and the foreign exchange loss of life insurance became the main pressure. News highlights: according to the Labor Department, workers can apply to continue to participate in labor insurance if they are suspended without pay due to military service, childcare, injury, or illness, less than 1 year for ordinary injuries and illnesses, and less than 2 years for occupational accidents, severance, and labor insurance for 15 years, or termination of labor contracts during the medical treatment period for occupational accidents. This provision ensures that the employee can maintain his or her labor insurance rights and interests during the period of temporary leave until he or she is eligible for old age benefits. News highlights: many couples have friction because of different ideas about money. In the behind-the-scenes footage of Woman I Am the Biggest, Liang Hecken has not given a brand name bag to his wife Zhou Yuding for many years of marriage, and the two have differences of opinion because of their spending attitude. Liang emphasized that money should be spent in meaningful places, while Zhou believes that it is more important to live in the moment and use money to express love. From the perspective of zodiac signs, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgin, Gemini, and Cancer men are listed as the top 6 most angry, with different personalities but all careful calculations, making their partners love and angry. With a high desire for control over money and a need for a sense of security, the Cancer man is the champion of the most difficult door. News highlights: the strong conjunction of Mars and Moon in June brings with it the energy of the workplace full of action and emotional tension, which is suitable for making major decisions. Tarot teacher Eiffel pointed out that friends who belong to tigers, horses, dogs, and pigs are especially suitable for submitting resumes, proposing new projects or changing runways during this month. Those who belong to the tiger have the courage to challenge and innovate, horses are agile and good at seizing opportunities, those who belong to the dog are steady and pragmatic and show strength, pig people have strong intuition and are suitable for cross-border innovation. It is recommended that they seize the golden opportunity to bravely break out of their comfort zone, while paying attention to details and communication to improve their chances of success. News highlights: the Foresight survey revealed that the 2026 county and city head succession battle has started ahead of schedule. 12 of the 22 incumbent county mayors are about to step down and become the focus of attention, such as Liu Zhihuan being named for president and Chen Kamai being rumored to be in the cabinet. The survey also showed that only 4 of the 9 leaders seeking re-election supported more than half, including Nantasu Shihua, Pingduang Zhou Chunmai, Mieli Zhong Dongjin and Lianzhong Wang Zhongming, indicating that the future election situation may be a plate change. News highlights: after going through the political storm, Keelung municipal government has gradually stabilized. Mayor Tse Kwok-lung focused on traffic improvement and parent-child policies, and the effectiveness of the policy was gradually recognized by the public. According to the Vision 2025 survey, Tse Kwok-lung's satisfaction with governance increased by 19% year-on-year, making him the most improved county mayor in Taiwan, and won the Best Progress Award in 13 counties and cities, showing that municipal government is back on track and has gained more public support. News highlights: under the 5-star halo left by Lai King, Tainan Mayor Huang Weige has fulfilled his municipal commitments with a low-key and steady governance style. During his tenure, he promoted the underground of the Southern Railway, the upgrading of the industrial and agricultural industries, and successfully reduced debts by more than 30 billion yuan, and won the 2025 Vision Lai Yudu Annual Best Progress Award. He emphasized that municipal administration is one baton after another, and it does not need to be high-profile to win applause. News highlights: Yan Daijun, the son of Yan Hunzuo, the deputy mayor of Nan City, was defrauded by the name of the second generation of government, falsely claiming to have a close relationship with President Lai King, and absorbing hundreds of millions of yuan for luxury life and gambling, resulting in many victims. Yan once used his father's reputation to swindle, set up a luxury car company and flaunt his wealth in the community, and even his childhood friends and employees were victimized, and the case caused local consternation. News highlights: Yan Daijun, the son of Yan Hunzuo, the deputy mayor of Nan City, was defrauded by the name of the second generation of government, falsely claiming to have a close relationship with President Lai King, and absorbing hundreds of millions of yuan for luxury life and gambling, resulting in many victims. Yan once used his father's reputation to swindle, set up a luxury car company and flaunt his wealth in the community, and even his childhood friends and employees were victimized, and the case caused local consternation. News highlights: Zhou Chuanhao spent $3 billion to buy the 4th floor of the mansion Puyong Duniang opposite the Taipei Arena, which attracted attention. The news said that it came out of the mouth of the proprietress of a nearby bento shop, and it was only a few hundred meters away from Dong Chu's company. Although Jewel Music responded to the news as too exaggerated and incorrect and stressed that it was a private matter and did not respond, J-Jo has always been generous and has owned a number of top luxury real estate assets in the past. News highlights Woo Wonjun broke up after being subjected to domestic violence by Zhao Junya in March, but recently it was reported that they were reunited. A number of community videos showed the two traveling together, which sparked heated discussions among netizens. According to people familiar with the matter, Zhao Junya launched a tender offensive, and Woo Wonjun is suspected of having relented and rebuilt the old friendship, and it is even rumored that they will travel abroad together. Although she had applied for a protection order and was deeply shocked, her status has gradually stabilized recently, and the compound rumors have set off another storm of public opinion. News highlights a high school student with a score of 74 in the academic test in Taichung was exposed to falsifying his learning process, claiming to have won the best debater in the high school elite cup but had no record, resulting in the cancellation of his admission qualifications by the medical departments of Yangming Jiaotong University, Beijing Medical University, Chinese Medical University and Zhongshan Medical University. Recently, it was rumored that he transferred to Chonggung University, which sparked heated discussions. In this regard, Chonggung University said that the results of the unified distribution will be announced on June 12, and it is inconvenient for the university to disclose the admission status in advance. News highlights after arriving in Shanghai last night, internet celebrity curator Chen Zhihan live-streamed the meal, attracting more than 200,000 people to watch online, and many people took photos and gave gifts on the spot. Kuomintang lawmaker Zhang Jiangkan criticized his live broadcast camera for only focusing on himself and not showing much of Shanghai, questioning his narcissism and lack of sincerity. He was dissatisfied and said that if he was just filming the curator himself, he would not have to go all the way to China. News highlights badminton player Wang Kailan registered his marriage with former Lottie girl Ten Yuan Chen Qiu on yesterday, 10th, and officially became husband and wife, and sweetly announced on the social platform that Mrs. Wang is successfully bound and cannot be returned, and posted a number of romantic wedding photos to thank the outside world for blessings. The agent denied the pregnancy rumors and said that the wedding has not yet been planned, and the two will publicly share more feelings in the near future. News highlights this year's first butterfly was formed over the sea of Zhangzisha Island on the morning of June 11, and it is a mild typhoon that is expected to move towards Hainan Island and then turn to South China, with no direct impact on Taiwan. However, due to the influence of the outer cloud system and the northward movement of the low-pressure band, there will be localized heavy rain in the east and central and southern parts of Huadong from the 15th, and the probability of coastal wind and long waves will increase. The Central Weather Administration reminds that Taiwan should pay attention to afternoon thunder showers and severe weather in the next few days. This is the latest to be built since 2016. News highlights the Legislative Yuan passed the resolution of 2028 China Fire Without Coal, which caused dissatisfaction with Taipower, pointing out that Taichung has ranked first in Taiwan for 6 consecutive years, and the electricity consumption in 2028 may reach 40 billion kilowatt-hour. The municipal government has emphasized its support for gas for coal, approved the commissioning of gas-fired units, and required Zhonghuo to continue to reduce coal. Taipower stressed that the coal-free schedule should be in line with Taiwan's power plan, and premature decommissioning may endanger the stability of power supply. News highlights a car accident occurred in the early morning of May 20 at Jinda Bridge in Pingtung, and I thought it was a self-collision case, but it was later found that the owner of the car was Lin Nu, whose family was in Xiaoliokyu at the time, and the car was handed over to the parking lot operator for safekeeping. After investigation, the police found that the perpetrator was Wu Nan, a former employee of the industry, who picked up the car without authorization in order to let his girlfriend travel, resulting in a car accident. The operator said that he was also a victim and was willing to cooperate with compensation and hand it over to justice. Lin Nu accused the industry of loose management and called on the public to choose the parking lot carefully when going to Xiaoliokyu. News highlights the 71-year-old grandmother successfully reduced her body fat from 39.5% to 34%, visceral fat from 11.6 to 9.6 in 6 weeks, halved her insulin dose, and stabilized her blood sugar. Doctors point out that there are 3 key points: one is to increase protein intake to stabilize blood sugar, the other is to switch to low-GI foods such as sweet potatoes and brown rice, and the third is to develop a habit of exercising after meals to prevent fat accumulation. At the same time, it reminds that low body fat is harmful to health, and you should eat right, move right, sleep well, and maintain reasonable body fat in order to lose weight healthily. News highlights office workers are busy and love to eat buffets. Nutritionist Xia Ziwen suggests, half a bowl of rice for women and 1 bowl for men with 8 points, choose 3-4 vegetables of different colors, and avoid high rape such as eggplant and tomato scrambled eggs. In terms of protein, it is recommended to marinate eggs and plate tofu, and chicken thighs are preferred over pork ribs for fried food. If you take it out, you can rinse it with hot water to reduce the intake of fat and sodium, and you can eat healthy at the buffet. News highlights on June 11, 2025, at 3:44 p.m., the annual strawberry full moon will be ushered in, symbolizing a good harvest and blessings. The full moon coincides with a great stagnation of the moon that occurs only once in 18.6 years, and the moon will rise above the horizon at its lowest angle in nearly 20 years, which is visually stunning and will have to be missed until 2043. The best time to see it is after sunset in the evening, and it is recommended to go to an open spot with little light pollution to watch the moon and take pictures. This night is not only an astronomical spectacle, but also a time of meditation and vow-making. News highlights. In March this year, actress Wu Wanjun once complained of domestic violence by Zhao Junya and announced their breakup, shocking the outside world. Unexpectedly, 3 months later, the two were suspected of reuniting, and Zhao Junya recently uploaded a travel video, and it was found that Wu Wanjun was in the picture. It is rumored that Zhao Junya continued to chase hard. Wu Wanjun was soft-hearted and intended to turn back, and people familiar with the matter revealed that she had confided in relatives and friends, which attracted attention. In the past, the two had a deep friendship, and the emotional entanglement was hotly discussed. News highlights. Xiu Yikai shared on the show a few days ago that he helped Zhu Jingwen pick up the pre-ordered fruit in the market, and was quoted 10,250 yuan on the spot, and was frightened and shouted, "Now I know why I didn't bring my wife to the market." He was amazed that his wife's fruit alone was more than all his expenses for the day. Afterwards, he hurriedly added that these fruits should be distributed to relatives and friends, which attracted netizens to laugh at the loss of belated desire to survive, and some netizens expressed curiosity, "Can you open the box and see what fruits you bought?" News highlights. The Kuomintang Caucus and the People's Party Caucus in the Legislative Yuan amended Article 5 of the Regulations on the Treatment of Military Personnel to stipulate that those who volunteer to serve in the military will be given an additional 30,000 yuan per month. Gu Licheng stressed that a number of adjustments have been made to the increase in the allowance for volunteer service this year, and asked the legislature to fully communicate with the executive branch and the Defense Department before increasing the number of years, and prudently study the source of funds to avoid affecting other important budgets. At present, the second wave of additional funds is still pending consideration by the Executive Yuan. News highlights. The Federal Court of Appeals ruled on the 10th that U.S. President Trump can continue to implement large-scale tariff measures and temporarily maintain his landmark economic policy. The ruling extended a moratorium on a lower court's ruling last May to block tariffs, allowing the government to continue to impose tariffs on imports from most trading partners, including Canada, China, and Mexico, while appealed. While the court has yet to determine whether the tariffs are in line with the International Emergency Economic Powers Act invoked by Trump, the move allows Trump to continue to use the tariffs as bargaining chips. The lower court had previously ruled that the president exceeded his constitutional authority, but the Trump administration has appealed. News highlights. TSMC's 2nm process yield exceeded 90%, and it is expected to be mass-produced as scheduled in the second half of this year, and is expected to become the second largest process node in the next 3 years. TSMC has received orders from major customers such as Nvidia, Apple, and Qualcomm, and the capacity utilization rate will rise rapidly. The UBS report pointed out that Intel benchmarked TSMC's 2nm18A process yield of about 50%, and is expected to be mass-produced by the end of 2025 and reach a monthly production capacity of 20,000 to 30,000 pieces in 2027. Some of Intel's CPUs will still be commissioned to TSMC 3nm and 2nm process foundry, and the 18AP process design package is expected to be available in early 2026, and external large-scale mass production will be available in the second half of 2028 at the earliest.